Hi folks, and welcome to the Truck King YouTube channel. Sitting behind me is the 2022 Toyota Tundra, powered by the twin-turbo 3.5-liter V6 non-hybrid. Now, we took a pair of these Tundras already here on Truck King, and we ran them all the way to the Arctic Ocean. Of course, we reported on our fuel economy, but that was truly worst-case scenario, so today I want to do a best-case scenario video. We're going to do some hypermiling to see just how miserly this Tundra can be. Make sure you stay tuned. And here we are, folks, right in the middle of my fuel economy run. So I'm out here on some back country roads today. My speed has been fluctuating between 70 and 80 kilometers per hour. And then as we go through smaller towns and stuff, you drop to 50 or 60. But that's what I'm trying to really stay at. I've not gone faster than 80 kilometers an hour whatsoever. And you know what? Speed is one of the most important factors when it comes to fuel economy. So if you want to save fuel, slow down a little bit, and that's exactly what I'm doing today. It's also a nice warm day. It's 25 degrees Celsius out here, and we've actually done a fuel economy test with this truck when we compared it to the Ram 1500. You can go check out that video, and that was an extremely cold day, plus the truck had winter tires on it, and we got right around 13 liters per 100. So we're really trying to get the best fuel economy we can today. One of the main reasons for this test is because of our big road trip on the West Coast. So we drove those trucks over 5,000 kilometers, and we did fuel economy tracking the entire way along. So every single time we stopped at a gas station, we would take down the readings and we'd work it out ourselves, you know, how far we went and how much fuel we had used. And at the end of the trip, there's a lot of specific numbers, but the big numbers we came away with were around 13 liters per 100 kilometers when this Tundra is running empty, and then around 20 liters per 100 when we were towing that small trailer. Now, what we kept kind of stressing in our fuel economy video, and I'll say it again, is that 13 liters per 100 number was pretty much worst case scenario. We had one truck with big all-terrains, that's the TRD Pro, and we had one truck with winter tires. We were running in anywhere from -6 degrees Celsius up to about 5 or 6 degrees above freezing, so it was still pretty chilly. And then altitude, we were up into the mountains, down out of the mountains constantly, so the altitude was always changing. We were filming the entire way, which means the trucks have to stop and start and stop and start. We were loaded down with mud and dust and gear and people. So again, those numbers, 13 liters per 100, I wouldn't call it really an average for the Tundra. I'd call it close to worst case scenario. And when you look at it like that, well, it doesn't seem too bad. And that's exactly what drove me to want to get this truck back today and do this test, because I want to report now on best case scenario. And that's basically what we have here today, just in terms of the weather. It's a beautiful day. I do have the air conditioning on. I don't want to be out here frying. But yeah, best case scenario today, that's what we're working on. I'm gonna do at least 100, maybe 150 kilometers to try to get a bit of distance in to make sure I can give you a really accurate reading. But I think at the end of the day, we're gonna come up with a much better number, and that'll give us a better range for Tundra fuel economy. So what else can I tell you about the Tundra while I drive around? Well, you know what, we talked about this a lot on our big road trip. The Tundra now is more comfortable. There's no doubt about that. The rear end suspension, you don't get the chatter over bumps. It's not too stiff. I think that's really where Toyota was focused, on making this truck more comfortable, more livable, and they absolutely did that. Now, another thing they did is they made it look pretty good. And this has kind of been controversial. When the Tundra launched, I know a lot of people were not big fans of the styling, but it's really grown on me, especially this truck I have here. This is the TRD Sport package. I'm in this beautiful red color. You get all the body color accents. I think it's one dang good looking truck. And I'll put it back to you guys, the commenters, like usual. Go below and let me know if you think the Tundra is now good looking and has it grown on you. So a little bit more about saving fuel. I do have the truck in eco mode. There's an eco drive mode. And then when I come to a stop sign like this, I'm using the stop start system, of course. So right now the engine is shut off. Lift your foot, it starts back up. The stop start is quite smooth. Most of these systems are pretty good today. This one's no different. It's very smooth, not jumpy, not jerky at all. And I like that. Another thing that's a little different is when this truck goes into stop start mode, like when the engine is shut off, you actually get a little timer that shows up in front of you, and it keeps track of exactly how long the engine is shut off. So it's just a nice little thing to know. On that trip, you know, for 2 full minutes the engine was shut off. And that was another thing we found on our trip, which was that, yeah, cruising on the highway or just doing long distances, the hybrid doesn't really have any fuel economy advantage. Where you're going to find the advantage is when you're running around town, because the hybrid has a tendency to want to shut off that engine even more than, of course, this truck does. So yeah, the hybrid is really only about in-town fuel economy, and then, of course, the fact that when you put your foot into it, it absolutely takes off. The power from that thing is epic. All right, so here we are pulling into the pump. What are the numbers? Well, let me show you. First of all, we did a total of 100.8 kilometers over 1 hour and 49 minutes. And we managed 9.8 liters per 100 kilometers, which is pretty dang good. And again, that's 3 liters per 100 better than we were getting last time we ran the Tundras. And like I mentioned, this is best case scenario, unlike last time, which was pretty much worst case scenario. And now we'll go fuel up, and then we'll take the bill, and we'll do the math ourselves to see if it matches up with what the computer says. Fill method too, so we fill it up, we wait 30 seconds, and then we go to the next click. And like I mentioned, I'm doing this at the exact same pump for consistency's sake, so this should be as close to scientific as we can get. Okay folks, now we'll do the math ourselves. So you can see we used 8.912 liters, so you go ahead and go 8.9912 divided by the 100.8 kilometers we traveled, multiplied by 100, and you come up with 8.84 liters per 100. So doing the math ourselves actually suggests the truck was more efficient than what the computer was saying by a little bit, and that's really nice. Well folks, there you have it. I think with this run today, we've proven that yes, you can get pretty dang good fuel economy out of this new Tundra, as long as you're nice to it. I was accelerating really, really slowly. Like I mentioned, my top speeds were not going anywhere over 80. Those are the things that are going to help you save fuel. So if you slow down a little bit in the Tundra, it'll be nice to you. And that's generally the story with V6 turbocharged engines. When you drive them and keep them out of the boost, they return good fuel economy. Once you start pushing them harder, whether you're just driving fast or maybe you're towing a trailer and you are using that turbo boost, the fuel economy really goes downhill quickly. Well folks, we are coming to the end of this one. Now I think today we've proven that yes, you can beat those EPA fuel economy numbers if you drive this truck nicely. And then on the flip side, the one thing Toyota made sure of is when you put your foot into it, there is plenty of power here. Plus the truck's more comfortable to drive than ever, so I think it's a pretty good recipe. Of course, now I want to hear from you though. What do you think of this Tundra? What do you think of the fuel economy numbers I managed to get out of it today? Go below into the comments, let me know all of your thoughts and feelings. As always, while you're down there, don't forget to hit like, hit subscribe, hit join to become a member, and then come right back here to Truck King to see what we're testing next. See you guys.